Good morning. Thank you for tuning back into the Driver's Corner. I am so excited this morning to take you along on a journey with me to pick up one of my dream cars. That's right, we're gonna load up my car hauler. We are driving an hour down to the Alabama border line, and I am picking up one of my dream cars. So stay tuned, you'll be along for the journey. All right, so obviously you know what I'm picking up, and so I'm just gonna give you a little bit of backstory about this, and that way you kind of know the journey that led to where we are right now. So when I was a kid, the Porsche 911 was absolutely my poster car. It was the only car that I really wanted and felt like I could actually obtain. So I kind of pined over the air-cooled Porsche 911s for years and years. And then they just kept going up in price. And as I became an adult, it kind of got out of my grasp. In the late 90s, there was an opportunity for me to buy a 92 RS America. And I missed out on that opportunity. It was $14,000 at the time, which sounds like a killer deal now. But I was still in high school and I didn't have enough money. And so at that time, I kind of brought myself back down to earth and picked up an old Mazda RX-7 to fix up, which was the only other car that I've ever done a nut and bolt restoration on, which is what I'm going to be doing on this 77 Porsche 911S that we're about to go pick up. The cool thing about this one that we're about to pick up is the fact that this one is a sunroof delete coupe. So it doesn't have a sunroof, it's a complete slick top. The bad thing about this car, as you'll see here in a little bit, is it's very rusty, and it's a shell. It's a rolling chassis. It's a stripper. I basically am bringing this one back from the dead. It was left for dead, stripped down to parts. Enough talking. Let's go down there. Let's see what I bought, and let's get it home. So what you are about to witness is just about the coolest shop I've set foot in a very long time. So the guy I bought the car from was a really neat seller. He is, just a car guy through and through. You can kind of see in the background there just some of these cars, and I'll kind of point out what I know about some of these as I spent more time. I actually bypassed the Porsche altogether and went straight to his car collection because he had such an amazing collection of cars. And I joked around and told him that I bought his worst vehicle, which I can understand why he wanted to get out of his shop. So what you're looking at there is a Porsche 944 Turbo. It was really clean, like super nice car. There's an Alpha in the back over there. Some really cool American hot rods. He was really into Trans Ams. And Firebirds and stuff. So there was a bunch of those, a bunch of TAs all over the garage here, which was really neat. That one, the blue and white one, had a really cool story. There was a friend of his that passed, and he fixed it up, and his friend's son is going to get that back, which is really neat. Here is my new project right here. So I did take a minute to look around while he was getting his G-Wagon kind of out of the way so we could get this loaded up onto the trailer. There's an MGB GT right there that looked like a 280. I didn't spend a lot of time on the Nissan, but there's the MGB GT. There's that Nissan 280Z. And then on the other side of this is something I had never seen before. It's a Samba. So really weird car. It looks kind of like a Jag from the front or an Austin Healey. But yeah, that was really kind of cool. So he talked to us a little bit about that one. He had a Bricklin. Just really neat. So just very cool shop. He had a lot of memorabilia around, and I was super glad to be buying from such a cool guy who was connected in the area and in the community, because if I'd just been dragging this out of somebody that didn't have passion for cars, it wouldn't have felt as special. But it absolutely was just a very amazing experience. So here we are headed home, and then I'm getting it off the trailer, and I'll go ahead and chat through and give you some close-ups of what I bought. Okay, so here we are. We tucked it into the garage. It rolled freely, so no big deal. Suspension's free and rolling. But I got it in, and it looks like I'm gonna have plenty of room to work on this thing. So I'm gonna show you kind of the good and the bad of the car in general. The car has been painted at least 5 times. So I've counted 5 different thick coats of various paint on this car. It's actually pretty shocking. So the black is some of the newer paint, but what I thought was actually Bondo is actually just layers and layers and layers of paint. It's insane. Hold on. It's been yellow, it's been blue, it's been red, it's been a color of like gold, kind of metallic-y color. It's been black. The car is insane. So this is the overall picture. The neat thing about this car, like I mentioned earlier, is it is the hardtop sunroof delete car. Also no power windows in this car either. So it's kind of like a stripper model, man. I'm totally in love with the stripper on this car. I don't think it had factory air conditioning. I think this was just a stripped down car. So you can see the yellow, which was the original color. I'm not going to do that. I haven't committed to color yet, so we can talk about that at another time. But overall, it has the SC flares. So somebody had flared this thing out at some point, but they're done really well. So this is about the place where there would have been metal work done. And I went over the whole car with a magnet. There is no Bondo holding this thing together. There's obviously some filler and stuff on these doors, but check this out. It came with all of these parts. So stacks and stacks, rocker covers, sunroofs, even though this car isn't a sunroof car, all kinds of motor mounts and wiring and windows for day. I got windows and windows and windows. There is just boxes and boxes of stuff. So I've got to take an inventory, figure out what I want to do with this. We've got to make a game plan for the car. Obviously, I've been dreaming about this since I was a kid. So I know what I want the car to be when it's done, but I also have to make a plan on how to get there because I never really intended on buying one that needed everything. So I'll show you some of the bad parts. I'm going to tell you where I land on price because I'm not trying to trick you guys into thinking that I got a killer deal, because I know that 5 years ago this thing would have been in a dumpster, crushed down into a cube, and we all would have been using tools from China made out of it. But it exists here today. The market is what it is. So I paid $4,500 after tax and whatever. The guy I bought it from was a dealer, so I did have to pay tax and some other stuff. So I'm currently invested at $4,500 when all was said and done. And so this is what I bought for $4,500. It has all the glass plus extra glass other than the windshield. So there's no windshield, but all of these rails and stuff around the windshield look really good. Around the back, it definitely needs some loving back here. So this is pretty common. If you've looked at any of these at all, you will see this pretty commonly. The lip is pretty much gone on the inside. So I've got some serious metal work to do all around. Like there's holes inside the car. Same situation. I got a little hole on the passenger side. The driver's side is it's gone. Like so there. Hey, there's my shoe right there. The driver's side is pretty much gone. So it's gonna need pans. And then up front, the torsion mounts and stuff in the back were good. Up front, smuggler's box and all that stuff is gone on the inside, and battery area is completely gone, but it does have the gas tank, which is nice. This is that other gold color that was on it at some point. So basically, I mean, the car literally needs everything. But that being said, I still couldn't be happier, which sounds crazy. So yeah, this is the new project. Step one for me is going to be basically sanding the entire car down. I'm going to try to get it down to metal
It's going to take a long time because there are so many layers of paint. I'm going to have to be pretty aggressive. I'm going to see what I'm working with as far as that goes. And once I get this car down to metal, then I'll have a better idea of how deep I'm going to be in the metal work, which I'm excited about doing. I'm not a body guy, but I have, prettied up some cars before. And this car here, obviously, I'm going to spend most of my time trying to get this car straight and ready for paint. So I think the first several videos that I do related to this car are going to be starting to work on body. The other thing is, and I know it may not be popular to some, but I am going to backdate the car. I'm not going to do it buying factory parts. So I will be doing the fender extensions here. I'll extend the hood down unless I can find a good cheap long nose, which is unlikely. And then I'll probably run the fiberglass basic coupe style bumpers. So I'm not going to put the impact bumpers back on this. And it's really just going to be a lot of sanding and a lot of welding and a lot of just general straightening of the car. Some of the seams are better than others. This one, and then it's like super tight up here. So I've got a lot of fiddling to do to get this thing right, but I'm excited about that. I'm going to sand as much of it in place as I can, and then I'll take everything off and do final sanding and then priming, like metal etch priming to kind of seal it, because I'm not going to paint it anytime soon. So it's just going to be a slow build on that. I've got to build a chassis dolly. So I'm going to build a chassis dolly out of 6x6s to get this thing up off the ground to help me get the floors cut out and then replaced. It'll make it a lot easier, and then I can move it around the garage if I need to, or move it outside to do sanding and other things when the weather permits. And yeah, so overall, this is what in this area a roller went for. The guy said that he had tons of interest and lots of people wanted to be on the backup list if I didn't show up. So I don't think that I was, while I don't think it was like that, the budget builds $500 purchase level of awesome. For me, I'm very happy with what I got for my money. It does have a clean Tennessee title. So I have a title in hand for this car, and the options that this one has, the fact, or doesn't have, I guess more so, the fact that it's a non-sunroof car, that was always my dream. So it already has the fender flares done, which was always my dream for one of these cars. So anyway, I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you guys are interested in this project, as it will be something that I'm working on every spare minute that I have. I still have projects lined up for the Corvette, so you will still see some stuff that I'm going to be doing to the C5 Corvette, but this will probably be the most intense project I've done in 20 years. So I really hope you guys appreciate it. And if you like what I'm going to do, if you're interested in what I have already done or am doing, please subscribe and like. So again, thanks so much, and I will see you on the next one.